And then it clicks for me. This person was not looking for a roommate. They were looking for a girlfriend.
Butterflies. Oh, yes, of course.
Hey guys, it's Kat. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a story time for you. And what a story it is. I hope you're seated and I hope you're buckled in because this is gonna be a ride. As you probably read from the title, this is the story time of when I was almost potentially kidnapped. And I know that sounds like clickbait, and I know it sounds like a stretch, but I do think the potential was there. So without further ado, let's just get started. So for this story to make sense, I think you're gonna need some, like a backstory almost. So the scenario is I am 19 years old. I had just moved to Copenhagen a few weeks ago. I was living in my brother's apartment, but I did eventually have to move out of his apartment and go live with a roommate somewhere. The whole story starts by me looking for a room to rent, and Facebook is a great place for that, and a lot of people find their roommates on Facebook by either posting that they're looking for a room to rent or that they're looking for roommates. And I found this post by this girl named Sophia. She sounded really sweet. She was about my age. So I messaged her and basically told her about myself, and eventually we agreed on a time and date of when we should meet at the apartment. So that is just all the practical stuff, and naturally I will put up the screenshots of this conversation because nothing in this story is made up, although maybe I wish it was, but it is not. I do have it right here on my phone, and if I look down it's because I'm using it to reference. This was 3 years ago after all, and I don't remember every single detail. So we first talk a little bit about like the practical stuff in terms of when I would be able to move in, how long I was planning to live there, because a lot of people actually look for roommates that look for a more permanent home rather than just a few months. And then she suggested that I came the same evening as we were talking. So this entire story spans over a single day, which is a lot actually. I feel like a lot happened in just one day. So we agreed to meet at 5 p.m. and I kept asking for the address, but they didn't give it to me. They just said, just meet me at like the corner of this building that was in this town. And I was like, okay. And I got on my bus. I was well on my way, and then she texted me saying that she wouldn't actually be at the meeting and that I was actually meeting the landlord, this guy, and that kind of set me off. Like, it is fair enough to have the landlord meet the future tenants, like that makes sense. I just didn't like the way she did it, and I didn't like the fact that she didn't tell me until I was already on my way. So from this moment, before I even met anyone or even saw the place, I already knew that this wasn't for me because I don't appreciate being lied to. So I get there and I go to the point that we agreed to meet at, and I just see this guy coming down with his shorts and his flip-flops. Mind you, this is in January. So it is absolutely freezing. There's snow out. Immediately I was just like, no, absolutely not. There is no way. Like, people that wear shorts and flip-flops and generally just not enough clothing for the weather and are entirely inappropriately dressed, a walking red flag off the bat. But we just go inside and he just shows me the place immediately. It takes maybe 10 minutes max, and like the apartment is nice, there's nothing about that, but I already had set in my head that I wasn't going to take it anyway. I wasn't going to rent it, so I was just kind of looking around, kind of bullshitting it, like I don't really care about it. I wasn't gonna come back anyway. So when the tour is over, he asked to go into his room, and at first that obviously sounds bad, but his room was the biggest one in the apartment, meaning that it was also the living room. So it had the couch and the dining room, and so it makes sense that that would be where you would go sit because it's the only place you can sit. So we went in and he sat on the couch on one end and I obviously sat on the other end of the couch because my parents raised me well. And then we just kind of sit there in this awkward silence, and I'm quite shy as it is, so I didn't really have much to say, and I also wasn't interested in saying anything. But I figured that he's the one who wanted to have a conversation, so I figured that he would have a conversation starter or like have questions to his potential future roommate. But he didn't really, like, it was kind of awkward. But anyway, he just asked some relevant questions, like I didn't think anything of it, like just age and like occupation or what you do in your daily life, like stuff like that that makes sense when you have to be a good match for roommates. It makes sense. Like, I didn't think anything of it. This part is gonna sound so ridiculous. So he has this massive TV on the wall. Like, this is the biggest TV I have ever seen in my life. Completely irrelevant. But on this TV, he is playing music videos. And at first I was like, okay, that's kind of rude to watch TV while you're trying to have a conversation with someone, but okay, I'll allow it. I don't live here and I don't care about it. But these weren't just like normal music videos. These were music videos like entirely with women in bikinis or like their underwear, and like entirely just this sexual undertone. And not only that, but these music videos were playing on full blast. Like, it was so loud I could not even hear myself think. Like, these music videos were playing while we were talking, and then anytime there was like that awkward silence, he would turn it all the way up. So it was no longer awkward silence, it was just like awkward loud music playing. And this lasted for way too long. Like, this entire meeting should have been 15 minutes max, like maximum. And I think I was there for at least an hour or at least 45 minutes, and I didn't really know what to do. I was just kind of sat there with these music videos blasting in my ear. I remember I was texting my brother a little bit. Like, I told my brother where I was and what time I was supposed to be there, just for reference, and thank God I did because eventually my brother texted me and asked like how it went, what did I think about it, and I was like, I'm still there. And I think at this point it was, yeah, 45 minutes to an hour later, and my brother was like, why are you still there? And I don't even remember what I said, but I probably said something along the lines of like, we're still talking, where he's still asking questions, you know, getting to know each other or something. And then I was waiting for my brother to reply. And then these relevant questions that he was asking became not so relevant, actually. Then completely random. Like, we were meeting at 5 p.m. So at this point it's almost 6 p.m, which is dinner time, fair enough. And then he asked me, did you already have dinner? And at first I was like being a little bitch about it. Like, duh, of course I didn't. I was here at 5. When was I supposed to have my dinner? Obviously I wasn't gonna have dinner before because that would be way too early. And then he goes on to ask if I have dinner at home, and I don't even know what I said. I probably said yeah, or like I probably said no, but I was gonna make it. And then he has the audacity, like, if there's anything men have, it is the audacity. And he goes, if you want, you can stay here and have dinner with me. I don't mind. Excuse me. How about no thank you? At the same time, I got a text from my brother, and my brother was like, you know what? I'm pulling the plug on this one. I feel like you should come home now. Thank you. I don't care what you're talking about. You should come home immediately. And then that was my cue to leave. I was like, you know what? Thanks for the offer, but my brother has made dinner dinner is at home, my brother's home waiting for me, and I left. I didn't really know the area very well. I've never been in that area of town, so I just found the first bus stop that had the right bus to go home, and I just took the first one. And I think probably this bus was the longest route I could have chosen, but that is my issue. It's fine. I just wanted to be on a bus on my way home and get the hell out of there. So I did. And then after I got home, suddenly Sophia is back texting me, and she was like, did you go see the apartment? Like, how was it? And I'm obviously lying through my teeth. And I say, it was great. Like, it was fine, but I still have some other apartments to see and some other people to meet. I didn't really have a definitive answer yet. And then she was like, okay, can I ask you something personal? Like, what? And I was like, okay, sure. I had no idea where this was headed, and I didn't really think, like, how personal can it get? And if it gets too personal, I will just not answer, you know? But then she asks, since you are single, would you be interested in getting to know someone? To me personally, that is not a personal question per se. Like, it's kind of none of your business, but it's not like personal, you know what I mean? And then she goes, actually, one of my friends thinks you are very sweet and he likes you, and you met him already, so what do you think? He is a very, very nice guy. You met him, so I guess you already know that. When this first happened, I was a dumbass, clearly, because I wasn't putting two and two together just yet. I was thinking, okay, like, we have mutual friends, okay, that's kind of cool, I guess. But I couldn't really, you know, I wasn't really linking the two yet. But then, as she was texting me more, I was like, oh, that's when it hit. Like, I think with the last message, you already met him, so you would know that he's a nice guy. I think that's when I was like, oh, you're talking, this guy that I just met, okay, you're done. And I was like, I don't think so. And then it clicks for me. This person was not looking for a roommate. They were looking for a girlfriend. And apparently that was supposed to be me. And then I just go on to say, I don't think that's a very good idea since we are going to be living together. And then she goes on to say, like, oh, well, he's not home that often anyway, so it's probably not a problem. And even if it doesn't work out, he's not gonna kick you out of the apartment. Like, wow, thank you. That's so reassuring. At this point, I'm kind of slowing down with replying because this is taking a weird turn. And then she goes, well, if you didn't live together, would you be interested in going on a date with him? Because he told me he's very, very interested in taking you out. Miss Girl, you are crossing all the lines. You have zero boundaries right now. Like, what? This makes no sense. And then I say, that's very sweet, but that is not gonna happen. That is inappropriate, and he's also too old for me. I would rather not rent this room. I'd rather rent a different one. And then they block me. They block me, even though I'm the one being harassed. And that is basically that story. So what did we learn? We learned that at 19 years old, I had a grown man twice my age who wanted to not only be my roommate, but then also my boyfriend. And at the time, obviously this was weird. And obviously, as you can see in my replies, I knew it was weird and I knew it was wrong and I knew that something was up. But I didn't quite make the connection. Now, 3 years later, I listened to a lot of true crime, and not just to listen to true crime, but I feel like there are a lot of important messages in these stories and a lot of red flags. And it made me realize, holy crap, like there was red flag after red flag in this conversation and in that meeting that I did not pick up on. Like the entire time my gut was telling me something is wrong and something was wrong, but I didn't quite pick up on it. And I realized that this Sophia person did not exist and never existed. It was him the entire time. He had been catfishing me as a girl around my own age to lure me to his home. Do you see how fucked up that is? Like, this grown man was catfishing as a 19 or something-ish year old girl to have other girls come see the apartment and be alone with this fucking creep. That is fucked up. Completely unhinged. It is truly disgusting. And that is also the reason why I am telling you guys this story, and I'm sharing this story with you, not so much for entertainment purposes, but for educational purposes as well. Because I feel like I learned a lot of lessons from this, and I feel like sharing this story would bring awareness to other people and to help other people avoid situations like this. And looking back, I can, you know, kind of laugh it off and be like, haha, this kind of happened, and make a joke out of it, but there's actually nothing funny about a situation like this. And the fact that this happens is disgusting. And obviously I am here 3 years later to tell this story, and I am able to sit here and share my experience, but not everyone is that lucky, and that is the true danger of this world. The fact that women, particularly, like especially women, not just women, but especially women, are targeted by these crazy creeps out there is just mind-boggling to me. Like, you cannot exist as a woman in this day and age and just exist. Like, no. Like, there will be someone, mainly guys, not every man, but a lot of them, and that's the problem. The fact that this person blocked me when I called them out, and the profile has since been deleted, does not exist anymore, tells me that this creep knows exactly what he was doing. I do not remember this guy's name because he didn't use his name, and he had a foreign name, so it would be kind of difficult for me to remember it anyway. But I am pretty sure if I went to this building, or like this town square where we first met, and I had to show someone the apartment, I am pretty sure I would be able to pick it out still. I don't think something like this is something you forget. It was on the second floor to the left, and I do remember the street. I'm not gonna say it, but I do know where this person is, and I think the reason why I kept this conversation was in case I needed it, because, you know, like, I had just told this person where I worked, and a lot could have happened from that. Like, this situation could have escalated, and I am very lucky that it didn't. But not everyone is that lucky. That is all I have from me today. I think that was plenty. I hope you enjoyed. Not that there's anything to enjoy, but I hope this was helpful, and I hope this spread awareness, and I hope this maybe helped you see some red flags sooner than I did. I just want everyone out there to stay safe and be very careful. Please don't hesitate to tell someone you trust about where you are going, who you're meeting, and what time you're gonna be there. Because had it not been for my brother, I don't know what I would have done. I don't know what I would have come up with to be able to leave. My brother's message was honestly my segue to get the hell out of there. If you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much. You're awesome. I really do appreciate it, and I truly hope this was helpful in some way or another, and I will see you guys next week. Bye guys.